Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live in the Moment Live. I'm one of your hosts, Alex Giuliano, and with me, as always, is Steven. I believe he actually has a higher attendance record than I do for this podcast.
I do. I have the highest attendance record because I put it together. So
well, there you go. There you go. I'm glad somebody took charge.
I don't put it all together. Luckily, they bring things to the table and allow the whole podcast to exist. But I'm a major player.
For sure.
Yeah. So
for sure. So let's get right into it. It's Memorial Day, so that's something. Thank you.
It is. Thank you
to
anyone who's
served in the military or is currently serving.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that have, and pretty much everyone that I know that has are really great people. So, shout out to them. Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let's dive right in. First topic I want to talk about, it's been on my mind a lot, and I believe I brought it up in some of our previous podcasts, but I've been doing so much travel lately.
Yeah.
And it's stressful because you're on site with a client, you've got a lot of work you've got to do with them, but then you also have a lot of work you have to do when you get back to the hotel. And you try to manage all the work that you've got coming in. You've got to get sleep still because you can't show up groggy to the client site. It's a really tough balancing act, and then you have to deal with the stress of actually traveling.
Oh, that's so tiring.
It is.
It always surprises me how tired I get just from travel.
Sitting around, sitting in an airport, sitting on a plane.
It's inaction for most of it.
It's terrible.
But it kills me.
But it's just the stresses that come, and I've been trying to figure out how to properly handle the stresses, particularly on the road, where, and it sounds terrible to say, but when you're home, you can almost kind of use, it sounds terrible to say, but you can use substances to help you deal with some of the situations. But when you're out of town, you don't always have the same substances available in the same quantities. It's a lot more expensive, especially if you're drinking, to be drinking at a hotel versus buying your own bottle. And sometimes, you go out to a liquor store, you buy a bottle.
You could go out, you could buy like a
six-pack
or something if you wanted to drink afterwards. But
the stress of being on the road is so much more. You end up drinking so much more than you do at home, and then that wears into your next day. So you can't have that, so you're trying to weigh it, and then really there's also the substances is a terrible way to manage stress.
It is, because it doesn't manage it.
No, it suppresses it only for.
It suppresses symptoms of it.
Yes, but the underlying issue is still there.
Mm-hmm. And it's only going to compound if you just numb yourself to actually dealing with it.
Yeah. I think, and one of the things I've been thinking is one of the best ways to avoid the stress is to keep going. The reason you're getting stressed is, and it sounds weird to say, at least for me, because my schedule's been so busy, but the reason I'm getting stressed is there are pockets of free time where I'm sitting there thinking about things and stressing myself out about them. And it's, instead of thinking about the things, I need to just do the things in the moment. Be in the moment as opposed to living in the moment. Like, I need to be living in the moment as opposed to thinking about the next moment and getting stressed out about that. And it almost seems as though filling your time with more things allows you to be less stressed because you have less time between tasks to really get upset or concerned about the next task.
It goes to that old phrase, idle hands are the devil's playthings. Mm-hmm. If you stay busy, like, you really don't have time to get as depressed or stressed or.
Now, that's not to say you're not going to get stressed or depressed, but to a much lesser degree, a more manageable degree.
It's that anticipation that can kill you, and it's really hard to deal with that, especially in a day that you still have a lot of things you have to do. You really can't relax yet.
Yeah.
You still have a few more things on your agenda. You still got to power through. You got to power through it. I mean,
well, and it's kind of like with roller coasters. The biggest thing about the roller coaster is the anticipation of the drop. It's thinking about it all the way up to that moment, and. I've always hated roller coasters because I get motion sick on them, but I remember the one time at Universal Studios we went on the Dueling Dragons. And it was great because we were talking all the way up to that first drop.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. And then we did the first drop, and once you hit that first drop, and you get into the speed, and you just get moving. If you stay moving, you don't get concerned or nervous or upset about it.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you the way you'd expect it would, yeah. Like if someone physically picked you up with like a crane and then flipped you upside down like in a barrel roll, I think that would be much more stressful on your body and much scarier to me than a barrel roll on a roller coaster because you have all that speed going. You don't really feel it.
No,
I mean, you
really
feel the
don't.
jerk, but you don't feel. You don't
don't
feel
feel
the
unsafe.
loop. You don't. Yeah, you don't feel like you were upside down.
So yeah, I just wanted to open with what's really been hitting me because I just got back from
Yeah,
being out of town and
work.
oh, my worst story for travel. On my way back home, we're flying out of Charlotte. We're flying back to Tampa, and we have a 6:19 flight out of Charlotte to get to Tampa. And we board up. We're all sitting down. We're all loaded. Captain comes over the intercom. Apparently, a piece of the engine went missing during the flight from wherever they came from to Charlotte.
You just snuck off the plane at some point.
So they had to do a whole battery of tests. So there was going to be an extensive delay, but we were already on the plane, so we were just going to have to sit there until they cleared the plane to fly or got us another plane. Now, about 5 minutes after the announcement was made, another plane pulled up to the gate next to us and deplaned its passengers, and they were able to switch us to that airplane. But just the stress of sitting there waiting to take off or waiting to find out what's going to happen. And I felt so bad for these poor flight attendants because everyone's like, what's going on? What's going on? The flight attendants are like, I don't know. The captain just found out about this. He hasn't communicated with the technicians yet because they're still doing their preliminary check. They actually had to come over the intercom and like, ladies and gentlemen, the flight attendants do not know anything more than what the captain has already said. As soon as the captain has finished conferring with the mechanics, we will have more for you. It's like, God,
Wow.
people, you gotta be patient. I understand the situation's stressful, but still. But it was pretty miserable because we got home significantly later than we wanted to, like 2 or 3 hours later. But, and the worst part was, because we were so late, there was a skeleton crew at Tampa International, as opposed to the usual crew that would have been there to take the flight. So the baggage would have been quicker and they would have gotten everybody out.
Yeah.
So the baggage took forever because all the employees had already gone home because the flight didn't come in when it was supposed to 2 or 3 hours earlier.
Wow.
It was cascading effect.
Yeah.
From
One mistake, many butted.
Well, the dude in the middle seat, I felt so bad for the guy in my middle seat for this flight because he had come from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He was trying to get back to Tampa. And his flight out of Chattanooga was delayed because of technical difficulties with the plane. And that made him miss his 4:45 out of Charlotte to Tampa. So they had to push him to the 6:19 out of Charlotte. And then that got delayed due to technical difficulties. And his day was just shot. Like, that's just such a terrible day right there.
Because travel is already so tiring. To then have delays
Well,
is
and it's
the
like
worst.
when they had to push him to the next flight, it's not like they put him in group 5. They put him in group 8. They put him in the final boarding group. So it's like if you have overhead luggage, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
Even though it's not your fault that your connecting flight got missed because the airline didn't maintain their planes well enough. So stressful. Oh, man.
But you made it home.
I did.
And you're here now, living in the moment. We're able to have this podcast.
I am. It's
All
great.
is right in the world. Important things are happening.
Oh, so that's what I wanted to open with. What do you got?
To open with, well, it's Memorial Day today. And first I want to show you an accident. Let's not say an accident.
Okay.
Because I don't need anyone stressing out that hard. But this guy they're doing aerial stunts.
Okay.
And this guy was on a parachute, and his parachute messes up. So let's watch that.
Oh, dear.
So see, he's fallen because his parachute fell. But he does have a backup chute. And was able to make it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Talk about stressful.
Yep. You think you were stressed last week?
Yeah, talk about traveling stress right there.
Yeah.
My plane
Ooh.
was delayed. My parachute didn't fail.
Yeah, but he handled it like a champion.
Well, he had to.
Yeah,
That was a life or death situation for him.
Yeah, mostly had a lot of different fails and stuff that's themed around the holiday because those are always fun.
Oh, that's fun.
So
That's
let's
fun.
watch a couple more and we
Yeah.
can get to the next topic.
Absolutely.
Major topic. So this guy decides to shoot fireworks out of his pants. Always a funny gag. And it gets even funnier when he puts his hands up.
Yeah.
Steve, you gotta put both your hands up in the air.
Like, oh,
Isn't that great?
The timing couldn't have been better.
Put your hands up.
Boom! And then he falls over. Oh my god! And he's trying to get back up. And let's watch it again. Let's watch it again.
Oh, we're watching it
Oh
again.
my god!
And I'll turn us off so we can really see it again.
Oh. Yeah.
Steve, you gotta put both your hands up in the air.
Like,
So good. He just goes back. He just like propelled backwards.
well, hold on. And it almost sounded like you could hear the gals like he doesn't know.
Yes, they
Like,
do.
they know what's about to happen with this
Steve, you gotta
firework.
put both your hands up in the air.
And he is clueless.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's great.
Nobody warned the poor bastard. It's just like,
No.
oh, he doesn't
Oh no,
know.
that was definitely intentional.
You gotta love friends like that.
Oh,
Oh man.
jeez.
Oh
All right.
man.
This one, this how not to move your barbecue.
Oh.
You're
dear.
setting. It's not that bad. Like it's just, she's like, maybe if I go fast enough, it'll land softly on the other side. It's like, it's elevated. It just fell.
I don't even understand. Were they actually legitimately trying to move it, or were they just trying to break it?
Yeah, listen, let's do it. She counts it off. She's like, all right, let's do it. Let's get it over.
How is that funny? That's an
What's it-
expensive looking grill.
Yeah.
Women.
If you just don't care, I don't. Yeah.
Like that.
Women, that's your response.
That's a terrible response.
It
but,
is.
well, I'm sure neither
women.
of them paid for it. Is really what it is. If either of them had paid for it, they would have taken more care. But they were just like, it's Dad's grill. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, unless they were trying to break it, but that.
I mean, oh man,
Yeah.
that's actually a great segue into the next topic. Diligence.
Okay.
When you go to do a task, I feel as though today is missed out on the whole the due diligence step.
Yeah.
And people are so quick to just react without actually doing any research. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
always the immediate emotional reaction, and it's natural.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It's hard to avoid the immediate emotional reaction, but then once you've had the immediate emotional reaction, you have time to research. But some people have that immediate emotional reaction, and then they start taking action. They're like, all right, it's time to do something about this. I'm
Therefore-
going to get fired up. I'm going to get zealot about this cause, even though I don't know what the cause is. And I don't actually know what's happening for the whole
Yeah.
situation.
It's always bad when someone doesn't fully understand something, or they think they do, obviously, but then say shoot a place up. Mm-hmm. That's not.
Well, it's
That's
like
not, if you feel like you're at that point that you're morally righteous and shooting a place up, you're wrong. Seek help.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
sure.
Seek help. I mean,
for sure.
I cannot think of an instance that would actually make sense.
No, not at all.
No.
It's
Now, if anything, it'd be like a community stopping one person, but you probably don't need to kill them in most,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, with those two videos, those are
But if
great
you don't-
examples. The firework, he didn't do his due diligence before he started having fun with
You
that
should have read the
firework.
label.
Well, the gals knew what was going to happen.
Oh, they
did their diligence.
Yeah.
They had a great time with that joke.
Yeah,
But-
I'm pretty sure they helped design that
oh,
stuff.
almost definitely.
Yeah.
But then, like the mother-daughter team,
That guy
there,
looks
they
so
could have just,
drunk.
they do a little bit of diligence. It was like, okay, how can we achieve getting this grill down? And actually, a big problem with diligence is sometimes people have been in a field for so long when it comes to working or something like that they feel as though they know everything and that they can just start taking action without doing the research or without doing the backup work. And it's like, no. It's like people who've been traveling and doing a lot of work like that who don't prepare for their trips. Like, oh, I've been on hundreds of these trips. I know exactly how to handle it. But But if you show up with a game plan, you know you're. It just kills me every time I see that happen. But it's like if you show up with a game plan, if you've done your diligence, the trip is always going to be more successful. I'm not saying you can't have a successful trip or a successful venture without doing your due diligence. I'm just saying, but even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Mm-hmm. Diligence is so important, and I feel like it's been entirely missed, particularly by my generation.
Well,
they like to react.
I'm
they
sure
don't like to
I'm sure it's
research.
more than our generation,
Oh, yeah,
but I agree. But it's, I know at least when I was in school, what would pass as a research paper is that you would just kind of cite the sources, but I mean, no one checked on it, so
no one. Who's
and in the age of the internet, and I didn't have a car. I couldn't just go out. And when you have the internet, why do you need to go to the library? We had like a book requirement, so you just look it up. You just look up a book related to the topic, and you cite that. So. Yeah, I know. I think that type of thing, and maybe it's just me being,
no,
a
because
douche,
I've heard so many other stories, even kids in college that I've got a research paper, I'm gonna crank it out tonight. When's it due? It's due tomorrow.
Waiting till the last minute.
And I'm not saying I didn't do that. Everyone's guilty of procrastinating.
You probably should, I don't see why you can't write a paper in one night, but you
need
should
to do
spend a few days
it,
read about it and you don't have to write
let the
things down.
information
take
percolate,
notes probably.
then,
that's probably a good idea. But even just reading the information and thinking about it and understanding your topic beforehand, that's what you need to do to prepare. You don't.
Oh, for sure.
Because I've actually had, and I don't know, but I've had papers that I've done. I had done it way ahead of time, or tried to do it way ahead of time. And it didn't turn out as well, which is weird. Because I think when I started doing part of it, and then I would get back to part of it later, and I got it done earlier, and I did it within a larger time frame. It didn't work out because I kind of
disparate thoughts.
Because I got lost at where I was. So the overtime really needs to be studying and researching the topic, which seems to be kind of lost because it seems to be more about word counts and grammar.
That kills me so much with the way school is just
and
you need just so many pages
testing,
or
and
just
it's
so
not
many
the
words.
teacher's fault.
It's the curriculum.
It's the way the curriculum's structured.
It's very unfortunate, but it's just diligence, man. When you see it in the business world, when it comes to hiring contractors to do specific tasks like social media marketing or web optimization, everyone and their mother says they're an expert. Anybody can say they're an expert. If you don't do your due diligence and research the company, you're going to be hiring somebody who's potentially just going to be stealing from you. Because particularly with optimizations on websites, sometimes ROI can take a few months. So you can get 3 to 4 months of income out of a company without proving any ROI and then end the contract because you didn't fulfill. But what are they supposed to do? You did the work. They're not going to try to reclaim the money, most likely. I mean, especially if your contract is smart enough not to stipulate a guaranteed result. And if you don't do your due diligence, you're just throwing money out the window. I know some optimization teams that are terrible that'll make 5 figures a month for one account. And it's not like they're optimizing a website that's making $20 million a year. It's less than 10. So to pay 5 figures, by the end of the year, you're out in multiple 6 figures.
Yeah.
And it's like, did they triple your business?
Yeah, where's the return?
If so, that's great. That was worth it. Especially if you go from 5 to 15 million just for a couple $100,000. That'd be a great investment over the year. But it's like you need progress checkpoints because even with optimization, there are noticeable results within the first month. They may not be provable to be able to say, yes, this is directly a result of the optimization. But then the next month, if it's still in the continuing trend, you go, no, we've got a trend here. But it's at least important to show the data month over month. You can't just say, we'll show you at the end of 4 months. And it's like, nah, whoever hires that team didn't do their diligence, and you're throwing money out the window. It's terrible. It's terrible.
That sounds terrible.
It is. Although it makes for some hilarious videos when people don't do their due diligence.
It does. So let's take a look at some more. Because, of course, not understanding what you're using you can make some mistakes.
Here goes nothing, folks. Whoa. Now that's what I call some hot basting.
Okay, so let's remove our
What
face
just
because I think it's
happened?
harder to see it. But that guy took a turkey, and actually let me do this. I'm gonna move our camera here. Let's go to the main one right here.
All right.
So the guy was cooking like a turkey or some type of bird. Looked like a
Okay.
decent size one.
Yeah,
the
no,
whole
he
thing
was-
pretty
yeah.
much. And I'm guessing the issue is probably it's too full of oil. Is actually
Okay.
my guess. I
Okay.
don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But clearly something messed up.
Obviously,
So he's dunking it in, and flames start shooting out. And the guy, I love the other guy with him because he's clearly just a TV host that's doing the segment. And it's fun watching him just trying to reach for something. He's like, and he's like, oh, I guess we got a hot basting, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the other guy's just thinking, oh, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I almost got us
salvage
both
the
on
moment,
fire.
yeah.
I'm extra stressed, but he just made light of the situation, so he did his job.
Here goes nothing, folks. Whoa. Now that's what I call some hot basting.
See, like he's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta come up with something because
yeah, that did
wow,
not
that's
go the way
what
we thought it was
supposed
going
to happen.
to. Yeah.
It's like, did you guys do a dry run before you filmed it? Diligence.
Wouldn't it be a wet run?
I guess
I don't know how
it
you
would
do
be
that
wet.
dry.
Ooh.
Let's see. Due diligence. Trying to see. Speaking of that, let me.
I believe in you.
It's yes again.
Hey.
Because we got more.
We do have more.
I'm
finding
I'm
clips.
thinking about the order. So I don't know how this messed up, but they were trying to use an anchor on a big ship, and this it's scary to me because I can't help but think about the weight of each piece. So let's take a look. Oh dear. Yeah, think of the weight of each one of those. That is scary. You just don't know what's about to happen. Clearly going wrong because it starts flaming.
No, you got.
And look, it's interesting because like they start to slow it down. You start going, okay, maybe they got it. But they don't.
Yikes.
You see how fast that's moving. Think about the weight.
Yeah, you want to get away from that.
Ooh. Isn't that crazy? Because you can think of things that work similar. We're gonna watch that again.
There goes the
But
anchor.
yeah, we have tape measure. I guess is that type of thing. Like something that is similar in function that you think about. That as soon as that moment of it flipping through that, you think like I can feel my finger get pinched.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it reminds me of smaller scale things that do the same thing. But that big would just
Tear you apart.
my God.
That was incredible.
You know, because you just imagine just one of those pieces of metal, one of those links, you would really struggle to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like full squat and go for it. So
My
a band of
God.
that going that quickly.
That was.
Let's watch that again. It's scary, isn't it? You hear
That's-
that metal on
ooh,
metal.
yeah,
It's like,
you're
whoa.
like, whoa.
You can feel the
You get
severity
nervous
of
for
it.
those guys.
Yeah, it didn't look like anyone got hurt.
It didn't.
They lost an anchor. I don't know what that means. So they're going just fine for a while. I clipped it to where it got close to where it messes up.
It's just so insane. It must have been so freaking loud.
Especially that last smack. I think it's yeah, I mean, I turned that down so much.
Holy
Ooh,
shit.
when it stops, there's like a calm that goes in the room. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, everyone,
that was heavy.
everyone on the ship was probably just like,
Everyone just
Oh,
shit themselves.
oh my
Smelled like
goodness.
hot metal and shit pants. Wow.
Yes, indeed. Wow. So, one of my other topics, and this may not be something we should broach in the podcast, I don't know. The power of psychedelics and how they change your perspective as a person on how you can live in the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's been extensive research done on all different types of psychedelics to see exactly what it does, but it does seem to, I don't want to say change, because it's not change you. It's
Yeah.
It's
It's not like it
doesn't change who
It's
you
an
are. It
experience.
shows you
Yeah, it doesn't
realities.
like
that-
it chemically changes your perception for a while, but it does wear out, and your brain is still your brain, but the experience can be long lasting, like any significant experience, and it's good for bringing that on. And actually, speaking of like a significant experience, they've had good luck with psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, for people who were in hospice for
wow.
accepting death.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
There's
it has
been
some
some
power
really
for
great
profound-
research. I was actually talking to a friend of mine. When I was out in Kansas City. We were talking about the current experimentation, and actually, there's now trials that have been shown to not just during the treatment period get rid of PTSD, but permanently eradicate PTSD by essentially reprogramming the brain through microdosing MDMA.
Really?
Really. And a friend of mine was talking to me about it
Huh.
because he's looking into it for, I believe it was his wife who struggles with PTSD.
Yeah.
And so research has been done on the use of MDMA to chemically reprogram the brain to completely eradicate the PTSD. And it's been shown successful in like 80% of the cases. It's completely gotten rid of their PTSD without need for recurring, like you do I think it's 3 treatments or something like that. But you do their treatment set, and there's no treatments after that treatment set. There's no recurring things that you have to do to keep it
Yeah.
at bay. It's just gone.
Wow.
And I think that's incredible. Because, I mean, for those of you who don't know, the street name for MDMA would be ecstasy. So, to use microdosing of ecstasy to completely eradicate PTSD, I mean, that's such a great thing. That's
Yeah.
particularly for a Memorial Day topic.
I know
That's
that is
incredible.
it's a great Memorial Day topic.
But it's and I'm curious if
The
any.
healing power.
Yeah, I mean,
Because that's one of the worst parts is the PTSD. I'm sure that they come back with. You can't sleep, and
yeah, it affects your sleep. It affects
you
it affects
get,
your relationships. It affects everything.
yeah, because you'd have like there's hostility and paranoia and all kinds of awful things that go with. But to be able to, and ecstasy of all things.
I know. I mean, because it's like cannabis has been used, like weed for warriors and things like that, where they've proven that cannabis can help control your PTSD. But that's more of a lifelong prescription type deal, as opposed to a complete eradication. And
it's still great for injuries and things. But
to
if
know
you
that
have
you
something
can
to cure
completely
it,
eradicate it,
that's
like
a different
that.
story. Yeah.
And I wonder what about MDMA versus something like psilocybin and I don't know the actual chemical name for acid, but
I used to know it.
but whatever that chemical, I wonder what's the difference. Why MDMA is more effective than those other ones? How is it able to chemically reprogram the brain in such a way? I mean, to me, it's awe-inspiring that we could take something that was just a recreational, people were using. I mean,
Well, actually, one thing I heard it doesn't actually require any substance, which is interesting. A substance can do it, but it is chemicals that would do the changes for eating. This is actually almost going back to Michael and I talked about fat phobia and fat acceptance and stuff.
Yeah.
You missed that episode. But,
I did.
But your hormones in your body kind of dictate what you end up being hungry for and what you try to eat. And the best thing to do, and I talked about the bane of my existence when it comes to dieting, which is starvation mode.
Yes.
Where you end up thinking, oh, I just need to eat something because I don't want to hit starvation mode. The hormone problem. When you end up eating little bits and you keep constantly give yourself a little bit of something. There's constantly hormones being created that's going to keep you from like switching over and using your. And I don't fully understand it clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not using any of the correct terms and all that.
That's fine.
But
It's
it
just
corrects
high level.
It just not eating actually will you will naturally create and fix your hormones if you just don't eat until 2-3 o'clock. I'm not saying don't eat a whole day.
Yeah, no,
You need to wait like 8-hour periods. It's the intermittent fasting. If you've heard of that, research that because there's a lot of actual information out there, not just me talking about it. But just that, like 8 hours, I've actually noticed.
Just made me think about my random off the wall. Yeah, the Russians have been to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I noticed
Don't
myself.
take everything we say for absolute fact. Do your due diligence.
Yeah, do your due
there
diligence.
it is.
Yeah. But I've actually noticed just personally, I've been doing the intermittent fasting thing because I got used to, I don't like breakfast. I'm not usually hungry in the morning. And then I've gotten used to not really eating lunch or really eating a late lunch at this point. Some days I won't eat lunch. Some days I'll eat a late lunch. But I've noticed that cravings for certain carby foods, a lot of the sweet foods, has gone away. I've ended up not having real cravings like I remember. Like the cravings are gone. I just can enjoy eating when I want to eat, and I can eat more healthy things and end up feeling full because I'm not looking for. You're satisfying a different need when you're satisfying some of these hormonal needs. Some of the eating these carby foods is hitting a dopamine receptor more than it's hitting certain nutritional receptors. So when you don't have the thing telling you you need to go eat more carbs and you eat healthy food, you feel fine. You feel like you've had enough. You feel you have energy. You know how you have like a meal, and if you find pretty much every time you have a meal you feel tired, you're eating the wrong stuff.
For sure.
You're able to eat that stuff because I eat pretty much. I had a Big Mac meal today.
What a win.
And pizza. Let's be real. I've eaten like crap today. Really.
Great. I had Hooters. I had wings and then buffalo chicken dip. So I wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible.
But when you eat the good stuff, it hits that. It hits something else. It triggers the right things.
Well, and a big thing for me is I've noticed, and it's not to say that there's anything wrong with meat, or that you shouldn't eat meat, because I eat a lot of meat, but the greens, I struggle with a lot of stomach acid problems. Like it'll hurt, you burp up, and it's burning. The more plants I eat, the less I deal with stomach acid problems. And I was talking with, he was a physical therapist. He sold his practice, and he's traveling and having fun.
Nice.
But he was talking, and obviously he's not a nutritional doctor because he was a physical therapist, but he still, went to medical school, understood the basics of nutrition, and he was saying if your diet consists mostly of plants, not even 100% of plants, but mostly of plants, you'll end up being a lot healthier than you realize. And it's crazy because it really is our stomachs are craving things that we've trained them to crave.
It is. It is
not
exactly
what it actually needs, but what we've trained it to.
And that's what's interesting, and that's why I point out the intermittent fasting and forget about the starvation mode thing because you need to reset. You need to let that happen.
I wonder if you could use psychedelics to help reset somebody's diet, because if somebody's really deep in there, like deep into the whole sweets thing, I wonder if you could actually use something like that as a therapy for weight loss.
Maybe. I would almost think a bit of THC would stimulate the appetite. You put the right healthy
I'm not
food
saying
in front
THC.
of them. No, I'm switching it on you.
No,
I'm
you're
saying
THC
I'm
and
saying
healthy
maybe
food.
just you get them stoned,
them
you get
up,
them,
and then
you get them the right healthy food. I think a lot of it comes down to the right healthy food.
Yeah.
Because that's it for me. I mean, I don't
don't
eat broccoli that much.
Salads are one of my favorites.
Yeah. It helps to have a lot of juicy fruit with it too, because then it really is so complete.
Well, and actually, one thing that I love doing is I'll make a tuna or a chicken salad, and I'll take a dollop of that and I'll put it in the middle of the undressed salad.
There you go.
Like, it's not as excess carbs necessarily. It's good calories, and it's not adding too much to it. But at the same time, when you mix it up, you've got the mayonnaise, and especially with the tuna salad, you've got the pickle relish that's also moving throughout.
A lot of flavor,
and that's really
texture.
it's almost dressing the salad without dressing the salad, and then you've also got a little bit of protein in there for you, and it's really just a fantastic meal.
Yeah, a lot more filling than just the greens would be too.
Or just the tuna salad.
Meat makes a big and it helps the acid because just the tuna could be a problem. And I found actually herbs can tend to have like the best effect when it comes to that. You have some mint, whether spearmint, peppermint especially.
Yeah.
I've actually found lemongrass is
Really?
almost magical when it comes to stomach issues and things. Because I'll have caffeine pills. And like I said, I won't eat a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll have caffeine pills on more empty kind of stomachs. It can hurt. It can feel bad.
Yeah.
I grab lemongrass, a single blade of lemongrass. I just tear it off. I clean it off because bugs get all over everything.
Sure.
And just know that all your food had bugs on it at some point. But
Unless
I
it was
cleaned it off.
heavily sprayed with pesticides, in which case you probably were better off with bugs on it.
Yeah, I don't know what the better case is in that scenario. But I roll it up and can just chew on it, and it releases its, it's a little intense. We should actually have a thing. We should do a segment. I don't know if it's going to be on this podcast or what, but someone trying. I've done it. A bunch of blades at once. You pull them together and you chew on it, because the stuff that comes out is really intense, and you're like, oh wow. But then as it goes through your whole mouth, through down your throat, it soothes everything. It almost hurts a little bit at first, but it's almost like that's healing you. And then it all just feels amazing after
Might have
that.
to give that a shot sometime.
It grows really easily too.
One thing I will say about the caffeine pill irritating your stomach, and I'm not sitting here trying to endorse a brand, but if you're getting generic caffeine pills like a Walgreens brand or something like that, I've recently been taking Vibrant.
Okay.
And it's got a nice coating on it that actually doesn't bother my stomach at all, even on an empty stomach.
Oh, really?
Because I've noticed the other ones, like you were saying, I'll get some stomach cramps or some issues.
Yeah,
These
cramps
don't,
is good. Yeah.
The Vibrant didn't have that, so just food for thought. Yeah.
Oh. What's the milligrams on those?
Same as the
nice
that you've been getting or that I was getting before.
Yeah, 200
for sure.
So.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff. I was using it while I was out of town.
Yeah, no, that's a good pro tip.
Pro tip, yeah.
Vibrant if you get stomach issues.
Yeah. Otherwise,
either way, you
fine.
should still have herbs for your stomach occasionally.
But
I find you don't need it all the time.
Well, if
you
you're
need
out
that
of town,
you need that
you don't
reset.
have lemongrass available.
Well, you grab some, bring it with you. It's really good.
That's true.
Maybe I'll find a way to package it.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Botanic Manics Organics Stomach Remedy.
Yeah, just
bam.
Line one up like.
For those of you who are wondering, he's got an herb thing that he's got going on Instagram. Check him out, Botanic Manics Organics.
Sure do.
It's
and
pretty great
speaking of Instagram things, I never showed our titles. So, Alex,
wow.
You can reintroduce yourself as Alex.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. I'm one of your hosts here for Live in the Moment Live. And as you'll notice on your screen, there's a little handle at the bottom with my Instagram. So check me out. I do computer programming. I do acting. I do data conversion. I do website program. I do so many things. And I post about it. Not all the time because I'm busy doing them and living in the moment. But still check me out.
Still check them out. And you can always check me out at the Time Wizard Music on Instagram, on Facebook, and actually on here. You're going to see me live or pre-recorded. We've been having some internet issues if you're wondering why we're coming in and out or why it takes a little longer to get the full version. That's all it is for right now. We still got these videos coming for you. So we got Build a Beat coming tomorrow.
Solid.
So that's the Time Wizard. Check me out. Post all the time.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Clips.
So clips, because we talked about Vibrant, we plugged the crap. Let's take a look.
The rest of my topics are a little touchy, so we probably won't touch on them.
You want to hold on to them for another?
Well, I mean, protests is one of my topics.
Oh yeah,
best not to touch on that because that's controversial. We all disagree. It's better just to keep the topics.
I think if we're gonna cover,
well,
if we're gonna cover some of these topics, I would like to have people that I disagree with.
Yes, for a debate.
To balance it out.
Absolutely.
And have people talking to each other like people instead of talking to each other like I have the gospel. You need to listen.
That's
I have
the
worst
answer
thing
in the world.
Because it's easy to do that because there's so many talking points out there, and you end up picking up on something because they're catchy. That's how it works.
They argue that on the news like their word is God's word, and it's because of ratings. You get great ratings when you have arguments.
And
because
if you
people are addicted to
and you
stress.
wouldn't kill your own credibility. You're not going to go on there and say we're wrong almost all the time, which is
Yeah,
what
no.
would happen if they actually redacted the stories that they get wrong.
Oh, for sure.
But I
But
mean,
there are
they
so many
do.
news
They do
stories. They
certain
don't have
things,
to
but-
go back and say,
Yeah,
"Well,
but
we
why?
fucked up here." They can just say, "Well, here's what's new."
And if they do, people don't see it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, they'll update it. It's like, well, damage is done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, dangerous thing. But, you know, I'm not sticking my neck out there in that industry, so I'm not going to say too much. You know, good luck anyone out there working in that. Some tough stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Very tough stuff.
All right.
So, coming at you with some more clips.
We had seen that. We had seen that. We had seen that. But we didn't see this coming.
Uh-oh.
I got you on that one. I got you real good on that one.
Oh, my God.
But you didn't see that one coming.
No, can we put that full screen? That was hilarious.
Yes, we can.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. And one more time.
Oh. So for those of you who are missing what's hurting, he's racking his balls on that.
Yeah, for,
His foot
for
goes
the audio
all the way
version.
through, and the up piece just boom, right in the boys. And then he lands on what looked like concrete
Yeah.
to top it all off.
That was another instance. Like, that
Due
gal who did
diligence.
that backflip with the POS stations at McDonald's or whatever that. Remember that? clip?
Yes, and she
It's
took
like
the whole
that.
thing off the
What
counter.
does it going well look like?
I
What does
know.
success look like? That's
What
what,
was
I
he
want to
trying?
see.
Was he just going to shoot the thing forward? Like, what
And
was it?
that clip caught me off guard when I first saw it because
gosh.
I had just been watching a bunch of clips of like people trying to light their grills and that messing up, and that one was the last thing I expected to have happen. So that's why
That was great.
I figured I'd get you
Oh,
on that.
you got me good on that one.
Yeah, but did you see that coming? No, you didn't.
No, not at all.
No, you did not. One more time. I wonder what point he realized it was a bad idea. Was it in the air?
Yeah, was it
when
after he
hit?
made contact?
Was it when he
When
was
was it?
rolling?
Oh, man.
And I think I'm down to this clip. I wanted to leave these few for last.
All right.
Hold up. I'm missing some clips here.
Oh, dear.
So let me make sure I'm not missing some clips here. So I think they just didn't carry over.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's like that.
bear with
sort of
us,
thing.
folks. We are experiencing some minor technical difficulties due to some lost clips, but we are currently looking for them. In the meantime, we should probably come up with a talking point. But,
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Top of your head. Well, build a beat. Would you be interested in doing some drums? You're a drummer.
I am a drummer.
Yeah, right now we don't have a drum set that you'd be able to mic. But coming up with some beats, are you available tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
probably not. Unfortunately, I get to be on site with an awesome client tomorrow doing some web development and potentially video production work. We'll see what happens. But, ooh.
Okay.
For those of you who are wondering, check us out. We've got some really old sketches from back in the day. You can also check out our website. It's very much under construction, but it's still a website. It's still up. HowOriginalMedia.com. More will be coming to that site. It's going to be great. It really is.
So you're gonna have to bear with me when I show some other clips. I'm gonna drag them in, and you're not gonna hear it for a second, and I'm gonna have to make it big. So bear with me. Okay. But I have a.
Well done. Let's get a replay on that mess up.
Yeah, so they shoot it up.
Did they not realize how big of an explosion that one was going to make?
I don't know if it just didn't go as high as it was supposed to.
Because, I mean, that was big. That hit multiple cars.
Hopefully I didn't. Ow!
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
an example of just shooting up. I'm gonna see that again. I
Oh,
do
of course.
apologize for this.
Technical difficulties happen. even on the best of podcasts. My favorite is when their intro's not working. Shout out to the Base Phillips Show. I love you guys' podcast. It's always funny when your shit doesn't work.
You all right?
Oh dear.
Okay. Yeah, let's just get to, here's a clip that's already in size.
My son Brandon is a moocher. He is lazy, refuses to get a job.
When Brandon tells me he's lost a job, my first reaction is, what a shock.
Brandon acts like a child. Brandon loves to wear superhero costumes. He'll be out in the backyard running around with lightsabers and swords, and he'll be jumping off the decking and chairs and tables. And it's like so weird.
A couple weeks ago, I heard a noise downstairs. I thought it was a prowler. And as I get to about right here, I notice a body flying off this ledge down onto the floor like a ninja. I go to confront him and choke him, and I hear, Dad, it's me, it's Brandon. And I said, Brandon, what are you doing? He said, I'm just down here hiding. Somebody could have gotten hurt really bad.
Brandon has destroyed our house. Brandon has spray painted everything from the toilet seat to the light switches.
Brandon has ruined our backyard. He's trashed several cars, and he's put holes in our walls.
Brandon never picks up after himself. He'll take bites of sandwiches, just leave the sandwich for someone else to pick up. In his room, there'll be 6 bowls of cereal with mold growing out of it. It's disgusting.
Brandon and Cindy get into very heated arguments, and right in the middle of their argument, Brandon will do a Michael Jackson pirouette and put his hand up in the air.
Brandon has so many toys.
35
He has
is that.
everything from the little figurines to remote control cars and boats. These toys Brandon has are something that children should play with, not something a 35-year-old should have. I've kicked Brandon out many times, and I swore I would never, ever take him back again.
I told another family member if Brandon wasn't my son, I'd have nothing to do with him.
Now I feel like I don't love him anymore. I absolutely can't stand him, and I hate him.
Ouch.
Ouch. What do you think of that guy? That's quite a character.
Ooh, that's impressive.
How do you think that happens?
Oh man.
You know, I was just at MegaCon, and I'm sure I met a lot of people in a similar boat as that guy.
Really?
I saw a lot of people that were in that boat. Without knowing, I didn't.
I mean,
I don't want to just assume. Like, I don't have anyone in mind. But you know,
how does that happen? That's just bad.
yeah.
I mean,
living with his parents and it's not like he has some kind of disease or something that would impair his judgment or anything.
I don't know. Maybe they need to get him scanned. Maybe he's got a brain tumor they're unaware of. I don't know.
That's pretty bad, right?
It's to the degree where you almost assume something like that, or like some serious head trauma that just or
what
lobotomy
happened?
that they weren't aware of. I don't know. That's crazy.
He's very selfish.
Yeah. How do you get like that? That's terrible.
It's quite an extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was on Dr.
That's
Phil.
why he's on Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, rocking it with the best of kind.
My son Brandon is a moocher.
I mean,
he
just
is
passing
lazy,
him, but I will
refuses to get a job.
cover up.
When Brandon
so I
tells
can
me
put on
he's
another
lost a job, my first reaction is, what a shock.
I've not tasted it.
Brandon acts like a child. Brandon
no, thank you.
loves to wear superhero costumes. He'll be out in the backyard
you ask
running
people,
around with
this is 2.5
lightsabers and swords,
cups.
and he'll be jumping off the decking and chairs and tables. And it's like so weird.
A couple weeks ago, I heard a noise downstairs. I thought it was a prowler. And as I get to about right here, I notice a body flying off this ledge down onto the floor like a ninja. I go to confront him and choke him, and I hear, Dad, it's me, it's Brandon. And I said, Brandon, what are you doing? He said, I'm just down here hiding. Somebody could have gotten hurt really bad.
Brandon has destroyed our house. Brandon has spray painted everything from the toilet seat to the light switches.
Why would you?
Brandon
Why are
has
you
ruined
why
our
you,
backyard.
I know, it just keeps getting worse. Like
He's
each
trashed
thing is
several
like,
cars.
Why does he feel
Put
entitled
holes
to
in
do
our
this?
walls.
Why does
Brandon
he
never
think
picks
that's
up after
okay?
himself. He'll take bites of
I don't
sandwiches,
understand
just
that.
leave the sandwich for someone else to pick up. In his room, there'll be 6 bowls of cereal
35.
with mold growing out of it. It's disgusting.
Brandon and Cindy get into very heated arguments, and right in the middle of their argument, Brandon will do a Michael Jackson pirouette and put his hand up in the air.
Brandon has so many toys.
Yeah,
He
and
has
the
everything
conversation,
from the
I
little
guess,
figurines
I don't
to
know.
remote
What do
control
you mean?
cars and boats. These toys Brandon has are something that children should play with, not something a 35-year-old should have. I've kicked Brandon out many times, and I swore I would never, ever take him back again.
You know,
Why
I
did
told
she
another
take him back
family
again?
member
Why
that
did she take him
Brandon
back again?
wasn't my son.
Yeah.
I'd have nothing to do with him.
Now I feel like I don't love him anymore. I
disown him.
absolutely can't stand him.
Don't let him live in your house. You don't have to disown him.
That's crazy.
But man,
They get a mother to hate you.
you know, you see, he has all these kids' toys and things. He's like, it should be a kid that's playing with these. And I can't help but think,
Did
when I
she
see
buy them?
someone in this, no, when I see someone, well, I doubt it, but when I see someone in that position, I realize that in a different time, because times have changed a lot over the last 100 years,
Yeah.
a lot for the better, but he would normally have kids at that point, and there could be an acceptable way of play. But the way he's doing it now is just completely selfish. Whereas as a father, you're actually being really helpful. Like you're actually just being a good dad. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems like
That's
people are
crazy.
lost. You know.
I don't know how that
It's like we're
happens.
supposed to have kids. Seems like.
Almost.
All right. So on to the next topic. Does this make you mad?
I've not tasted it.
You should.
No, thank you.
Okay.
So you ask
Recipe's
people,
gonna be
this
in the
is
back.
2.5 cups, and you want people to build up to drinking a gallon of this a day.
Right, because the thing is, people are very malnourished. What's going on is you're so
Listen to the
immunocompromised,
word
you're not absorbing all the
sniffing.
nutrition. That's why you see mutation from people. And so when you actually flood your system, you're actually feeding your body what it wasn't ordinarily getting, because you're being undermined by parasites, you're being undermined by all the different toxins that are attacking you at the cellular level.
So here's the protocol. The jelly juice, 2 cups a day, work up to a gallon.
Yes.
Diet, which is certain raw nuts, seeds, oils, certain
Fruits and vegetables, yes.
certain meats. Healing management, prepare for pain, manage, change the juice amount, purge the mutations. So you acknowledge that they're going to feel really not great when they start drinking this.
What I'm acknowledging is that we're redefining the role of pain in our world, because what you do with pain right now is you squelch it with a pill, powder supplement, or opioid.
Okay,
right?
you're saying they're not going to feel well when they drink this at
They're going to
first.
feel. They're going to feel they're going to feel healing.
I assume you have pictures of people that have regrown arms and stuff.
Absolutely not, because I haven't gotten that far. I've only been doing this for a year.
So you don't have any proof that this regrows arms?
Proof is all relative. I've seen proof in smaller experiential
Well, that's not
circumstances.
relative.
It
You
is.
don't.
It is not relative.
Do you have
Because
any training?
Hold on a second. If you
Do you have any training?
I have enough
Yeah, proof is
training
relative.
What
by
is your
looking at
training?
the internet and actually
Oh,
taking
my.
information. Right. By looking at the internet. Actually,
Boom.
Well, and this is where people find this is on the internet, right? Do you have any biochemical training?
No, absolutely not.
No medical education or degree.
No.
She should have talked to a lawyer on what kind of claims she can
You
make.
have no scientific studies.
Nope.
That's what she
You have no
should have done.
clinical studies.
Nope.
Human studies, animal studies.
No. Do you need? Do you
Yes,
want to
you-
see what they left behind?
See,
Is
I mean,
there
seriously,
family
she could
died
not claim
and
anything.
Chronic illness? Is that what you
No,
want?
she has.
Your claims are.
It's like that can all be
you
phonied
can
up. She
regrow
didn't.
Organs and limbs.
If you can heal a cut on your
Yeah,
finger
she didn't
on
even
your
take the
arm,
time to phony
Didn't
up.
even
Like,
take the
wow.
system, right? These are cells that are
Okay.
that are regrowing. So how can that not be a leap to go into
So
regrowing your organs?
if I lose my arm in an accident, I can.
You can potentially, yes. If
So
you
do I
reinforce.
pour this on it or I drink
No,
it?
you drink it. You heal from the inside out.
I see. So,
But you, yeah.
so I drink this and that arm is just going to regrow.
Well, here's the thing. I know you're mocking me, but I get it. It happens
No, I'm
over time.
asking because
Right.
I want to know what it is. What it is you say it'll regrow.
Because look, if
Point
you
clear.
heal your cut on your arm, right? You see
I
the
didn't ask
skin.
you how. I'm just asking this.
Yes, you can regrow it potentially.
You say we can live to 400 years old.
Heck yes, yes.
And cancer, you can just reverse cancer, any kind of cancer.
Of course, cancer's a fungus.
If you get this Down syndrome, all the cells just completely reformat.
Absolutely, it's like
Facial features
growing
recheck.
pains.
Facial features change.
She just keeps
Absolutely,
stepping
'cause
it.
your morphine, like when you are
she's
She
not a
is.
sympathetic
your
character at all.
shift. It's
No, she's
painful.
pushing it.
And you say that this will reverse homosexuality?
Yes, because here's how we look at humanity.
Yeah.
There's a male and there's a female, right? And then you have 11 differences with the male and 11 differences with the female. You
Hear
have a
her
reproductive
out.
system that gets mutations and it misfires signals and it creates anomalies, all right? Because how we look at life is procreation, life is also protection, vibrancy, health, productivity, energy. And if you have nothing of those and you happen to be homosexual, then you might as well just do this and see what it does to you.
That is just outrageous.
It is.
That is outrageous.
Of course it is. Because
Yes. Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Does that make you mad?
It does. Makes me pretty fucking furious, actually.
Does it make you this mad?
Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. No, you're not going to try it. Out. Whoa.
is everything okay?
Sorry,
Okay.
I move like a cat.
And I don't have the sound effects set up yet. Probably for next episode, but I need to get him. I move like a cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Dr. Phil, I move like a cat.
No, for sure. That's great.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to be one. I think that may have been...
Was that
Oh,
our
actually, no.
sign-off
Here,
clip? No?
real
Okay.
or fake?
All right, so this is our final clip. Are we about
Final
to sign
clip.
off with this?
Let me double check.
Sorry with the clip
Yes,
mix
sir.
up. All right. Well, ladies
Yeah,
and
I
gentlemen, we're getting ready to
apologize.
wind this podcast down. We've got one more fantastic clip for you. We
This-
appreciate you sticking in through some of our technical difficulties. Give us a synopsis of what we're about to
So this
experience.
is an experience. It's an interactive experience. Now,
dear.
we're going to watch this video, and I want you to think, is this real or is it fake?
Okay.
I honestly don't have the real answer.
Okay.
So it's a big speculation time,
Fantastic.
but it's hard to tell.
Oh.
See, it's actually almost like that grill one, because you pointed out, were they just throwing the grill off the side?
Yeah.
They might have been.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider that. So that's a real or fake. I would have done that if I realized that. This is a real or fake. I'm going to make it big as we go.
That's fine. See, that's so easy to fake.
See? Yeah, that's... And,
Bear with us just one moment, folks.
okay, it's not going up again. Yeah, because it made it look like the meat shot out and landed.
It did. Make
I
it
don't
look
think it
like
did.
that.
I'm just going to drag it in again.
Yeah, but I really don't think that happened.
Yeah, right. Boom. See, because the angle would make it easy. It would. The question is like,
It's so difficult.
make sure you can hear it.
It's just... What the...
See, because what makes me say fake is, why is there a camera there?
Yeah, that's my thought.
And it, like, I cut it right before it happened, but there was just like a few seconds of it waiting,
Mm-hmm.
and then just shot it.
But
Right,
like,
because all
why
it
is
is
it
is like
shooting
if
out?
you could have just had something pop over there, you're standing over here, you just drop the meat. It's really not. It would be. You see how narrow the space is.
Yeah.
For it to both shoot from there and to land on the table right in front of the
camera frame.
in focus.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, it being in focus is hard if you dropped it or if it actually blew up. But one more time, let's. I want to say fake.
One more time.
Hold on.
That's a shadow.
Shadow.
The shadows of the smoke.
Yeah, shadow's just out of the smoke. There's nothing coming out of the smoke.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm gonna say fake based on the shadow.
I think that's fake.
I think that's fake.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Wow.
That should be a new segment. Real or fake?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because we got fails. That's always easy. And then let's do a real or fake.
We could also do a nature versus nurture like we had that one time.
Want to talk about that a little bit? Do you have any nature versus
Well,
nurture
I mean, we had a
topics?
great one right there with Dr. Phil and that kid that's 35 years old and is all messed up. Would you say that's nature or nurture? That's a tough one. Because it's like, I don't know the backstory of how the parents treated him when he was younger. What they allowed him to do in his early 20s. Where did they go wrong? Did they go wrong? Or was this nature?
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
I mean, that's a tough one.
I know, because there's like a point you almost feel like even if a lot of it was nurture, grow up.
Yeah.
I think that's why it feels on the fence. Because it's like, well, it must be nature because this guy's just being a douche. We hadn't figured it out by now.
I know, but
because that is
it's tough to say.
That is bad.
That's
I mean,
really
there's
bad.
I understand not maybe being where you want to be, like when it comes to how much money you're making or the house you live in or the cars you have, but this guy's playing with toys at his parents' house.
That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say nature. I'm gonna say nature on that one.
Yeah, I feel like the nurture that became his nature.
You know what? Yeah, because at the same time, it's like the way the parents treated it. To me, it almost felt like they
should have
felt responsible.
Why would they? Yeah. Which is semi-true only because they let him stay there.
Or rather, they didn't feel responsible. Is really what it seemed like. They felt like they weren't responsible for this, which makes me think they are responsible for it based on...
You see, the fact that they let him live at the house makes me feel like they feel like they're responsible.
Oh, okay. You know what?
That's
You're
my
probably
thought.
right. Yeah.
But they shouldn't.
No.
Because even if it was...
Get over it.
If
Everyone
you
gets
weren't
scarred by
able
their
to
parents.
give them what they needed to beforehand, you're not going to fix it.
No, you're
Let
going to
them
make
fly.
it worse. Yeah.
Let them go figure it out.
Push the bird out of the nest.
Yeah. I mean, if they're actually trying to better their lives and working, and I mean, there's nothing wrong if someone's staying at their parent. It could be hard with rent and everything else. It's
understandable.
But try.
Yeah.
Try.
That's what we're going to leave you with today, folks. Remember, do your due diligence, live in the moment, and try.
Try.
Put some effort in. That's something that's
Be
sorely
proud
missed
of your
today.
effort.
Yes.
You might fail. You might get a loss.
Yeah.
Be proud of your effort. Learn from it. Be better next time.
Yeah. If you try your hardest, win or lose, as long as you tried your hardest, you were successful.
Because next time you'll be that much better.
Yeah.
No reason to sandbag ever.
No reason. Although you did that quite a bit in high school grade-wise.
And I regret it because it was dumb. You know, not that if I had gotten straight A's, I'd be in a much better spot right now. But I could have put so much more work in, and it's more about the work ethic, I think.
Yeah.
Even than the specific thing. Yeah. It's important to build knowledge, and it's great if you're learning a bunch of things. But you got to get used to working.
I feel like school needs to put more emphasis on the work ethic itself and less on the work, because the amount of work they give you gives you the opportunity to create your work ethic, but they're not framing it as that's what they're trying to do is teach you work ethic, because ultimately that's the best thing you can learn from school is a good work ethic, because then that carries into any field. But
Learn how to learn.
Well, yes,
Develop
learn how to
a
learn.
work ethic.
Yes, and try.
Try for you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Live in the Moment Live. I was Alex Giuliano.
And I still am Steven. I'm going to show you guys our little nameplates here real quick.
Woo! Maybe. Woo!
We'll catch you next week.
Remember, live in the moment.